Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and this week I want to talk about teaching rules to new players. So this week I wanted to respond to a question that I received via my blog. Hammy from Indonesia asked, I would love to hear from you on how you learn a new rule set, including your preparation steps, learning processes and common pitfalls to avoid. Additionally, I'm interested in how you teach new rule sets to other members of the Rejects. Your experiences and tips on these topics would be greatly appreciated. Well, thank you very much for that question, Hammy. Always great to get questions because it gives me a topic to talk about for the week. And this is a topic that I've touched on before, but with a little bit more experience bringing new rules to the Shed of War, I feel I now have perhaps a clearer perspective on introducing new rules to an established group. So thank you for the question, and I hope you find my answer illuminating. So let's start with learning new rules. This has always been tricky for me. I'm not the kind of person who can read a set of rules cover to cover and fully absorb them, and I know I'm not alone. Several of the Rejects have said exactly the same. Sometimes it can be really hard, no matter how well written the rule book is, it can be very difficult to absorb them that way. And, like I say, I know I'm not alone. I can enjoy reading rules for inspiration and interest, but learning them solely by reading I find very challenging, and like many, I need other forms of engagement to process the information and more importantly make it stick up here. And this is where things like YouTube come to the rescue. Online tutorials and playthroughs are invaluable for learning a new set of rules. I mean, that said, I find it hard to sit through an entire recorded game. 2 hours, perhaps more, of gameplay can be really difficult to follow and requires a level of concentration and time commitment that I often don't have. So, however, a well-constructed rules review or a condensed playthrough that highlights the rules in action can be a fantastic learning tool, whatever you've got time for. And of course the beauty of YouTube is its variety. Whether you prefer concise summaries or detailed walkthroughs, there's content for everyone. Now, another effective way to learn rules is by playing with someone who already knows them. So earlier this year I had a chance to play Sharp Practice for the first time at a games day, at a Lardy Games Day. And while we skipped a lot of the detail, to focus on gameplay, I still learned an enormous amount. I was inspired by the experience, and I purchased the rules immediately afterwards. And now Ray and I have agreed to use it for our collaboration project, which we announced earlier in the week. Now, if you can, learning from more experienced players is arguably the best approach. Games days, demo games, club nights are ideal opportunities to learn direct from others. Now let's flip the question and discuss how to teach a set of rules to new players, a skill that I've practiced recently by introducing the Rejects to Test of Resolve. The key, in my experience, is all about the preparation. This is a skill that I've carried over from work. If you're leading a group or giving a talk, you need to be the expert. If you're unprepared, it really shows, and your audience will lack confidence in what you're teaching. So for Test of Resolve, I made sure that I knew the core mechanics thoroughly before introducing the game, and solo play helped me anticipate common questions and potential issues. I even wrote down answers to likely queries, and in some cases drew diagrams for myself for reference. And of course, when those questions inevitably did arise during our first game, I was already ready with the answers. Now, the first time I ever ran a game for the Rejects many years ago, I definitely wasn't prepared, and it really showed. I was stressed, players were confused, and the experience was subpar, shall we say, for everyone. I was determined not to repeat that mistake, so I approached Test of Resolve with a lot of preparation, and I think it paid off. Another tip is to ensure that players have a solid quick reference guide. Don't rely solely on the one included in the rulebook. It's often great, but it can usually be improved. Now, for Test of Resolve, I created my own QRS tailored to my new players, and after the first game I then went back and revised it based on that feedback, and I'd likely update it again after future games. So my tips then are going to be: preparation is everything. Know the rules, anticipate questions where you can, and practice solo if needed. Provide a good solid QRS, tailor it to your new players and update it as you learn what works best. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm new players with complex scenarios or advanced rules. Start with straightforward gameplay to ease them in learning that set of rules. And above all, remember to have fun. It's just a game. Everyone, including you, should be enjoying the experience. So finally, I'd like to hear from all of you. How do you approach learning a new set of rules? What methods work for you that might differ from other gamers? And have you ever taught a new set of rules to beginners? And if so, how did it go? And what lessons did you learn from that experience? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I always love reading them. So now we have time for a hobby update, and once again I've been rather ill, so hence the reason I missed putting out a video last week. I understand, I appreciate it has become a bit of a regular excuse, you know, like I'm not been very well, but I seem to have had a rather stubborn gastrointestinal infection, which it seems to have cleared up now, thankfully, but it had hung around for 3 weeks, I think. You know, I'd be ill for 3 or 4 days, what seemed to be on the mend for 3 or 4 days, then it would come back. Then I was on the mend for another 3 or 4 days, and then it came back a third time. You know, like I say, I've now had 3 bouts of this, and if you'll excuse the pun, I'm thoroughly sick of it. I have now seen a doctor after that in itself is a saga, and my insides seem to have returned to normal. Cross fingers. So during the brief window of normality between bouts of illness, I was able to take part in another remote game with the Rejects, hosted by Jonathan Freitag. We played another of his medieval Japanese games using basic impetus, and this time we played the first battle of Azuzaka, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which took place in 1542. This saw Odo Nubahide face off against Imagawa Yashimoto. Now myself and Dan took control of the Oda clan while Ray and Colin controlled the Imagawa. Now I'd like to say the game went better than the last Japanese game that we played, but fate was definitely not on our side. Dan controlled the left flank and almost immediately came under an intense attack by Ray's troops. Now a combination of excellent dice rolling by Ray and an inability to pass any cohesion checks by poor old Dan quickly resulted in that flank it was virtually dissolving. It was falling back almost immediately. The situation looked so dire, it seemed clear that I needed to be aggressive on our right flank. So after a rather faltering start, I got into a position where I could attack Colin's line in front of me, and one by one I was able to throw his units back. However, time and again I failed my pursuit check, costing us desperately needed points, because you get points every time you pursue. So things were not much better in the centre when my samurai charged, you know, confidently charged towards the enemy. They met basically a stone wall, multiple rounds of melee saw me repeatedly score more hits than Ray, but Ray kept passing his cohesion checks. You know, it still whittled the unit down, but you know, in losing the melees and not being able to flee, you know, basically it nullified my attack in the centre. And in the end, you know, both sides were desperately close, and it was all down to who was going to get that last turn, and unfortunately the other side did, and they broke us. With only a couple of points between us, it was technically a draw, and I'm going to cling to that. But you know, Ray and Colin's army did break us first. But you know, another really enjoyable game. I'm really quite enjoying these Japanese games. Just new types of troop types on the table, new bit of history, and a cracking set of rules as always. Really well umpired by Jonathan. So time for a workbench update, and this week I have actually managed to get a little bit of paint on some models. Obviously I'm still preparing stuff for the painting challenge, and that is, you know, sacrosanct. I can't touch that now that they're primed and ready. So I've been trying to get a few other little jobs done, and I wanted to do some 2mm buildings. I bought some really nice ones from Irregular recently, and I bought a few more. So I've done a small village, and then a couple of hamlets and farms, individual cottages, things like that. Nothing groundbreaking, just some nice models to put and try them out as an alternative to the 6mm buildings that I've been using in my Wars of the Roses game. And some of the buildings that I've got, particularly the smaller hamlets and so on, would be perfectly suitable for perhaps some Dark Ages games, because you really can't tell a lot of detail when they're that small. If they're one story and thatched roof, that pretty much covers buildings for quite a long period of time. So these are going to be quite versatile little blocks of buildings that just show that there's some buildings of some kind there, a little farmstead or whatever it might be, a couple of churches, that sort of thing, that their armies can march around and so on. In their last game of Test of Resolve, for instance, I didn't allow them to occupy buildings, and they were just the passing through a town cost them some movement. It slowed their movement down. So why not have 2mm buildings instead of 6mm buildings? They look pretty good. You can always, I've said this before, you can downscale the size of the buildings, perhaps a scale or two down from what you're playing with your miniatures, and they look perfectly acceptable. You get a cluster of buildings as opposed to one or two, and they don't get in the way and get knocked over and stuff like that. So these are nice little small collections of buildings in 2mm on some bases. Suitable for all sorts of games. So that was just my little bit of a project this week, just get them done. I wanted to get them done and out of the way because I didn't want to paint them in the painting challenge. So talking of the painting challenge, that is very much on the radar. I'm on the roster for that now. I've got my place. Starts in just over a week, I think it is, or just under a week. I'm ready for it, as ready as I can be. All the models that I have already bought ready for the painting challenge are now primed and ready on their sticks, waiting for the starting pistol. There's a large number of models. If you may know, me and Ray put out a joint announcement earlier in the week explaining what our so-called secret project is we're going to do the retreat from Moscow in 28mm. Now, I've not painted 28mm large groups of figures for probably close on 30 years, and I certainly I've never done Napoleonic, so this is a bit of a challenge for me, completely different. I mean, it wasn't so long ago, this is 6 months ago, I was saying, I'm probably never going to do Napoleonics and I'll never do 28mm, I much prefer my 6mm, and then Ray rang me up one day and just said, do you want to do this project? And before we'd even finished talking, I'd already ordered the first figures, so there you go, butterfly effect again. But I'm actually really looking forward to doing this. So we're going to do this really frosty, snowy bases and all that. It's going to be fun. So they're all primed and ready. I've got some models that I know I'm going to be receiving for Christmas from the wife, because I bought them and handed them over to her. So of course they're not primed, but I've got enough to get me going. So the first few weeks of the challenge, I've got some models ready to be working on, and then while I'm working on them, I can clean up and prime up the other models. I'm hoping, cross fingers, I don't really know how fast I'm going to get through these. Like I say, I've not done 28mm units for years and years and years. I don't really know how fast I'm going to get through these, but I'm hoping that I can get at least one unit a week. So by the end of the challenge I should have finished my little army. I'm doing the Russians in this retreat from Moscow, using sharp practice. So go and check out the post that I put out earlier in the week. There's a copy of it on the community tab or on my blog. And of course, just keep an eye out. We'll be posting pictures of our completed work as the challenge gets going. I've got a little bit of time off over Christmas, just a few extra days, and the family are normally pretty good about letting me spend some time doing some painting, so I'm hoping to crack on and get some painting done really quick, get something out early, and I'm really looking forward to it. The painting challenge is always a really good motivator to get a lot done, and given that I've lost so much time in the last 2 or 3 weeks because of illness, I'm really looking forward to just focusing on my hobby for a few days over the Christmas period and getting cracking on with some painting, something that's completely different from my normal fare, and a bit of a challenge for me. So there you go, that's it for this week. As always, please join in the conversation in the comments below. If you want to talk to me about how you learn rules or how you teach rules to new players, that would be great. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and share. And if you want to keep up to date with weekly content from this channel, please tap the bell notification icon. So until next week, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.